fired Chip, took the power back, gave it back to Howie Roseman, let Howie Roseman go pick a coach. He picks the coach, and then 2 years later, he's hoisting up the Eagles' first in the Super Bowl era Super Bowl trophy.
That's Super Bowl, man.
From Lori's point of view, that kid can do no wrong.
That
Howie
Super
Roseman can
Bowl
do no wrong.
is fool's gold. Barrett Brooks, Dan Sileo, The Middle. Appreciate you guys stepping in with us here. Please do me a favor and hit the like button. Malcolm Jenkins retires. Hall of Famer? Only 2 Pro Bowls, by the way, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 1,000 tackles. 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Is he that's tough.
He's probably, 3 Pro Bowls, all with the Eagles.
Yep.
Won a Super Bowl with the Saints and won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. He'll probably be an Eagle Hall of Famer. 6 years, I believe, he played in Philadelphia. Maybe he won't be. Maybe that's not enough time to get into the Eagle Hall of Fame. But give me your assessment of him as a player.
I'm saying no as a Hall of Famer. And that's only because when I look at him, I'm more biased because, number one, his time with the Eagles, it was more than just what he did on the field. It was the impact he had in that locker room, the impact he had during the trying times with, Colin Kaepernick and all the social injustice that was going on. He was more influential in that aspect than he was on the field, even though he was a good player on the field. He was an architect on when he was, maneuvering guys in that secondary, putting them in the right places, making sure they're playing up to expectations, being a vocal leader. But that doesn't always equate into how great a player is as far as when we're talking about going to the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying?
He put a lot of good years, like 90 tackle years, and not enough Pro Bowls. He's not a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's not, but he was in the world of really close and really good.
Yes.
Okay? He was a good ball player.
Yes, he
was.
I
don't even think he's an Eagle. I don't think he's an Eagle. I mean, when I think of the greatest secondary guys, do I think of him?
With Eric Allen?
Watch this. Almost. Eric Allen, like that, Dawkins and them dudes. And
Right.
I don't know if I don't even know if I see him in the same Andre Waters kind of deal.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
I just don't see that,
His impact wasn't necessarily, like I said, his on-field production. I think his off-the-field things that he did, as far as in the Philadelphia itself, the programs that he put together, all those type of things made him look great in our eyes as Eagles fans. I mean, in fact, Xander, come on for a second.
He was a better Saint.
Come on for a second. Now, Xander, when you looked at him, when you saw him play, did you see him as necessarily a Pro Bowl-esque type of player on the field, or was it everything that he was doing as far as the Colin Kaepernick, social injustice, all the programs that he ran and everything else?
Malcolm was a leader for the Eagles, so I think he crossed those boxes, but I think it was McMullen this morning. Has a safety ever made the Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
Steve Atwater.
Kenny Easley.
I forget what the stat was. That McMullen laid out a stat this morning that as great as Malcolm was, and even with a Super Bowl at both locations, I think he was 7 years in New Orleans, 6 years in Philadelphia. I don't know if he's a Pro Bowl player. I think Barrett, you make a point with the bias, the eagle color glasses, where
yes.
I don't know about the
our
Hall
fishbowl
of Fame voters. Still, think about some of the Hall of Fame voters you bring on the show, like Howard Balzer. Some of those guys, they're gonna look at them. They're gonna look at it and say, no, he's not a Hall of Fame guy, but he's an awesome player.
Well, when you look at when you look at Steve Atwater,
no way,
impact player, Troy Polamalu,
no way.
You look at Ed Reed,
no way.
So I mean, that's how you have to look at how you see his play on the field. Was he that dominant? Did he change how
Ronnie
you
Lott.
defense?
No way.
Exactly.
No
so
way.
those are Hall of Famers right there with gold jackets on.
No way. Not in that conversation with Reed and Lott. Just not happening. However,
Reed, Lott, Palomalu, Atwater, all these guys have gold jackets on because they changed how you played on the offensive side of the ball with their presence.
But he was a spectacular factor in a huddle.
Yes.
You know what I mean, Barrett?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
He's the guy, like, if you want to have 12 dudes, 11 dudes to go to battle with, man, you want to line up with somebody and you want to go after somebody, Haas, he's the guy you want on your football team.
No question.
But
I want him in the foxhole with me.
Yeah, I mean, I like this. I want him in that foxhole with me because he's one of them dudes that's going to get your rear and he's going to be there for you, man. He's got you. However, Ed Reed, Ronnie Lott, Kenny Easley, like you said, them dudes, man. Troy, he's not in that conversation. He's just not in that conversation. When
you say those names and think about his play, you don't see it. But like I said, as far as him being an impact player,
yes,
he definitely was that on the field and off the field.
21 interceptions, I think I saw over 13 years. I don't know. It's not spectacular. But then I look at the 1,000 tackles. That is. Okay? Right. I mean, I'll tell you what, man. I think of him. I mean, Rondé Barber comes to mind. Rondé has a great stat. He's got like 30 sacks, 30 INTs.
Yep.
And he's going into the Hall of Fame. Okay. Malcolm, he's going to go into the Saints, probably Ring of Honor. Well, I don't know if he goes into the Eagles Ring of Honor.
He didn't become that type of player until he got to the Eagles. Because remember, he played his first 2 or 3 seasons. His first 2 or 3 seasons, he was a corner. He played quarterback. He got drafted as a cornerback, and he made that progression as he got bigger and got his grown man body on. Then he became a safety. He didn't make that smooth transition into being a really good safety till he got to the Eagles. And once he got to the Eagles, then he transformed into the guy we see now. But I mean, you take away some of the stuff he did off the field. If you take away social injustice, those things, all the stuff he did for his foundation. If you take those things away and just look at the player himself, he was a good player.
Look at this list there. Steve Atwater, never. Brian Dawkins, no way. Bobby Dillon, no way. Kenny Easley, Cliff Harris played on them Steelers or the Cowboy teams. Paul Krause, all-time interception guy. Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, Johnny Robinson, Donnie Shell, may be the greatest of them all, played on that Steeler team that won 4 and 6.
Yep.
Emlyn Tunnell, Willie Wood. Those are just spectacular safeties, man, and he's not in that room. He's just not in that room. And by the way, no disrespect, he's not close to being in that room.
Right.
I mean, those guys are separating what that position. You know what's funny? It's harder because that's not a real lengthy list.
Yes.
Of safeties that have made it into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That position, safety and center, there's not a lot of centers.
Nope.
That are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame too. So for whatever reason, Barrett, that position has always been looked down on a little bit. I don't know, down on or maybe just overlooked because there's not a lot of names on that list that were safety guys.
Well, those are guys that usually either they give help or they need help at the position.
When somebody says Ronnie Lott, Ronnie started out as a corner.
Yep.
Meta, and so they probably have him in the hall as a corner because when he first came out of Southern Cal, he was a corner for a bunch of years.
Yep.
And then they transitioned him into being a safety. Same thing, Bobby, with Rod Woodson.
Yep.
Woodson was a corner forever, and then they transitioned him into safety. So both of those guys. And by the way, Rod Woodson could be the fastest and maybe most athletic corner next to Dion of all time. Because, dude, that guy wasn't he an Olympic high hurdler at Purdue or something like that?
Yep. I remember he used to do those races, and him and Green would race all the time. It was like tit for tat, man. Green, when he retired, man, he ran a 4.3 when he retired.
Dude, Dion probably did that too, though.
Man, Dion never ran as fast as he could run.
No.
I tell you all the time, he never ran as fast as he could run. I said, man, how fast are you really? Can you run a 4.1? He said, man, I run as fast as I need to run to get that money.
Hey, dude, Deion running a 4.1, you can believe it. I'm telling you.
I believe it too.
I've never seen – there's two athletes that I've never seen that could run as fast as these two dudes, man. And it was definitely Bo Jackson and him. Bo legendarily ran like on a pro day 3.9 at 250 pounds. Dude, at 3.9 at 250, 6'3".
Right. Well, and that's not even a lie. That's not even that. That's not even the old folks
there. They saw it, and if the scouts were there, they saw. Then Deion wasn't going to run on his pro day, so he shows up and he just shows up in sweats. He doesn't even have track, nothing. He just takes his sweats off. No, I think he ran in his sweats. He ran a 4.1 or a 4 flat in sweats. All the pros were watching this guy just ran a 4 flat in sweats with a gold chain on,
and then left. And then left.
That's the legendary story, man. Then had sweats on. Anyway, man. All right, Barrett. You know what? I think I'm wrong here on something with your boy Howie.
Well, hold on. I saw something. Let me look it up. I saw something in the it says Shizzle Flex. You gotta look at Lurie as if he's from Lurie's point of view. Chip destroyed the team. Howie rebuilt it in 2 years and raised the trophy up. I have the ultimate trust in him too. Hey, I understand that.
So you undermine your coach by giving the power to your GM?
But listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying, Dan. He took the power back from Chip, fired Chip, took the power back, gave it back to Howie Roseman, let Howie Roseman go pick a coach. He picks the coach, and then 2 years later, he's hoisting up the Eagles' first in the Super Bowl era Super Bowl trophy. From Lurie's point of view, that kid can do no wrong.
Howie Roseman can do no wrong. It's fool's gold. It's fool's gold. I'm gonna show you here. Watch this. Tyreek Hill and Allen Robinson and all these guys, they were never in a billion years ever going to do anything. There is $35 million in dead cap money on the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's with even not having Carson Wentz on the books any longer. It's now on Indy's books. Barrett, last year, you're telling me they were $70 million under the cap with a $38 million hit, $37 million hit, plus the dead money they had. They had nearly $50 million in dead money. You know why you're seeing the Kaiser Whites, the Zach Pascals, and all of these? Watch this. Signs that are helping the team. They're decent players. They're not horrible. They're going to elevate the roster. They're safe, though. Until that cap – this guy's coming from a cap room space of $168 million instead of the 208 because of the $35 million cap hit that they have in dead money. They are waiting until next year before they go out and do anything in free agency because they still have nearly $40 million in dead cap money. And I'm going to say this to you. If they truly believed in Jalen Hurts, they went out for Carson Wentz and got Alshon Jeffries, did they not?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Well, where's the Alshon Jeffries for Jalen Hurts? You're spending $5 million in total on your quarterback, 3 wideouts, and your tight end. This guy has got all that money. This guy has put a roster together. He's put it together economically. Okay? And you know what really saves him too? Look at the Cowboys. They've come back. Why should I overinvest right now? Look at the NFC. They've all come back to the Eagles. The Eagles are going to have another good year because of just the rest of the division and the conference coming back to them. He's in a catbird seat because we keep saying this. Tua's on a rookie contract too. Well, shit, they're spending money. They got the O-lineman from New Orleans. They got Tyreek Hill. They did all of this, and they're utilizing the rookie contract in Miami. I don't know if Tua is good. I'm with you. I don't know. But in Philly, that $35 million nut that they have in dead money, he sees that because you know why? They're his mistakes with those shitty free agent contracts that he signed, those Maxwells and all that other crap. 1 year, signed a guy to a 6-year contract. He played one season, $63 million. There's a ton of those. So signing the Derek Barnett's back, sure, covers up his mistake, brings him back at a lesser market price, and he brings back Fletcher Cox at a less price. The owner does see how Howie manages the cash register. That's why this team right here, they're no better than they were a year ago. But guess what? They're better in the conference and in the division because you know why? Everyone got worse around them.
Well, Derek Barnett, they brought him back at a cheaper price because he's slated to make, 5.5 this year? Well, last year, on the last year of his deal, he made 10.5 or 10.7, something like that. So you're trying to spin it like, he's a deal now. Fletcher Cox, they bring him back for 14. He's supposed to be back for 18. They're spinning that in the right way. Then we get this dog mentality with the receiver. Underwhelming. But I'll say this. When you look at Howie and how he's doing things, he's doing it his way. He's definitely doing it his way. So if this thing falls through, there's no other person you can blame for this than Howie because he's taking all accountability for everything. He's the head man. He's the captain. Is he going to go down with the ship? I guarantee.
No way, man. There's going to be a life preserver out there that he'll find. But Barrett, like I said, if you're looking at it from 30,000 feet and you look at, hey, draft choices, great. First round picks, wonderful. Team made the postseason, wonderful. Quarterback, second round. I said he wasn't a second rounder. He's playing into being exactly who he is, man. He may be even a little bit better. His first year starting, you can now have to go back like this. Instead of everybody bagging on him, you traded up to get Jalen Hurts at 2 in the second round. Everyone went like this. Everyone I know went, that guy ain't a second round draft choice. And he turned out to be. So he can look at you and go, well, look at what I'm doing on the perimeter. Well, dude, what about the $35 million dead cap money? What about all the draft choices that you've wasted at wide receiver? Look at the position at the skill set guys that you had. Alshon Jeffries was mediocre. That was a mediocre sign, dude. That was not – he got his bag of money. He came to Philadelphia, and guess what? I don't know. He just was how about it? Am I right when I say he was underwhelming?
He kept the chains moving. Yeah, as far as being explosive, being a guy to go out there and take command of a game. And that's what you mean. You don't mean
explosive.
Like taking command of a game changer. When was the last time we had a guy that could take control of a game? I'm gonna tell you right now.
Owens.
Yep, Owens is the last person. And if you do say Hurts can take control of a game. But you
got to win big games. You got to beat playoff teams. He ain't beat one yet.
No. So, that's
Owens was the dude. When I think of Philadelphia the last 20 years, the guy that sticks out in my mind offensively is T.O.
Yeah. Yep.
And 5.
Yep.
That's exactly T.O. right. And 5. Who was Chip? Not
Westbrook,
Chip.
Westbrook
was Andy responsible for Donovan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That was his pick. And everybody wanted Ricky Williams. They actually booed Mac, and he took that to heart. And he had a chip on his shoulder his entire career.
Way better career. And I still think, 1 year he had 1,800 yards rushing. I think it was with the Dolphins. Ricky Williams had an 1,800-yard rushing year.
Oh, yeah.
But McNabb had a better career.
There's no question about that. You know what I'm saying? And Mac, man, he's borderline Hall of Famer, man. I think Mac just
I do too.
He was just so goofy, man.
He if he wins the Super Bowl, Barrett, if he wins the Super Bowl, it puts him in my opinion, because when I think of the best quarterbacks during his era, he's one of them that come to my mind. I mean, you go to 4 straight NFC championship games. I mean, yes, was he quirky? Was he weird? Yeah, all that. Was he? How about this? He was a better version of Randall.
Yep.
Because Randall hated the media. He hated the Philly media more so than ever. I'm guessing that's gotten better as of late, because I hear him now looking back on his career in Philadelphia with a little bit more respect than he did when he left, because when he left, he trashed the city. He hated playing. He said he hated. And it's gotten better, I'm assuming, okay? He's a hard guy to figure out, Randall. Randall's a different dude, man. I know he's a preacher now, and we all change after we get a little bit wiser as we get older, and I think he respects it. I think they retired. Didn't they not retire his number or something like that a couple years ago?
Yeah.
And he really, really talked about his time in Philly, and that was the first time that I had heard him say something about the Eagles and playing for them in a great note. And so I think that that's been settled. But Donovan was weird, man. I mean, and plus the divorce was bad, wasn't it, at the end?
Yeah, I mean, this Mac just, he just went on a
yeah, but Jeffrey's right. If he just shut his mouth in certain situations, man, it would have been so much. But you know what? Who am I to talk?
Well, look, the stream is saying there are some guys that could take over, like Westbrook. I said Westbrook. D-Jax, we're talking about can take over a game consistently. He was one. D-Jax would give you 1 or 2 plays in a game. He'll give you one long pass play, but in crucial situations, could they go to D-Jax? I mean, they, special teams they could. Mike Vick, for the short time that he was able to. But, it's tough to say. I'm talking about a guy.
Maybe Shady.
Shady probably did it most consistently.
Shady and T.O.
Yep. Shady did it consistently. Shady could go out there and give you 120, 130 without even blinking.
So why did Chip hate him?
Because Chip was intimidated by strong. I'm going to say black player. He's intimidated by strong players. He's used to that college control.
You said white. Do you think he was a racist?
Well, he didn't understand the culture of black people, especially strong black people. He wasn't.
So he was intimidated by black folks.
Yes.
That's me and you talking in the locker room here.
Right.
Out. So he was intimidated.
I'm in the locker room. I say, man, that dickhead. He didn't like black folk, man. I mean, he was one of those guys that he just assumed walk on the other side of the road, then walk by me or raise his head up to say hello to me. Put it like that.
Shit on him.
Huh?
I would have shit on him if I saw that, man, going on.
No, that happened consistently. I mean, how does the lunch lady not like you? Or he would leave a note for the cleaning lady not to do this.
This guy's afraid of black people.
Well, I mean, I'm strong black players. That's what I'm gonna say.
Strong-willed.
Strong-willed black players, yes. He didn't want to be told other than him telling people what to do.
Kevin, he's an idiot. You're right. He's an idiot.
He didn't want to kick back. Like he was socially challenged. Put it like that. He was socially challenged. And we tried to tell him that.
I want strong people on my team. I don't want disrespectful people on my team, but I want strong because again, this is what we talked about when we opened the show though, Barrett. This is why the head coach has to be able to have, if you want strong-willed dudes in your locker room, the head coach has got to have a strong position in the room, or that coach will get walked all over. If I've got strong black folks, strong white folks, strong personalities in the locker room, that coach better have it with them too, because when that player barks back at that guy, that coach needs to bark back going like this: I'm your effing coach. Sit your ass down.
Yep, it has to be that way.
Then you go talk to the kid saying, hey, look, okay, I'm with you here, man. You're here because I want you here. That's why you're here. I'm not going like this. Hey, Howie, get rid of this guy here, man. He's challenging me. I'm not doing that.
Bro, that's just what it is. I put it like this. Me and I did college football. I was a producer inside the truck, and I would talk directly to Matt Millen in the truck during game times. And the year that Chip, the year that Chip signed with the Eagles, we did that entire year. And we had during that time they were ranked in the country. So I was on ESPN, one of their second or third best crews. So we did probably 5 or 6 Oregon games. And throughout the process of doing those games, we go up and see him. We go out, sit down, we talk to the coaches. We would talk to Chip, and Chip kept asking Millen, "Hey, what do you think? You think my system will work in the NFL?" And Millen kept telling him, "Well, look, I love the way these guys play and this speed, sped up offense and all this, but you got to understand, you get older players, and you don't know if they'll be able to be consistent in being able to run all those plays all the time. You get an old guy like Jason Peters, he's not going to want to go down and be running down the field and running 5 plays in less than 20 seconds. You're not going to be able to do that." And he was like, "Oh, okay, then so what about how I deal with the players and stuff?" He said, "You're definitely not going to be able to do that. I mean, you're dealing with grown men with families. You can't sit here and yell at this kid. You can sit here and yell at this kid, and he understands you have his career in your hands. Well, if you're in the NFL, you're a grown man. You got kids at home. You got a wife at home. You just can't yell at them and think they're going to like it. Because 9 times out of 10, they're making more money than you are, and you can't just tell them whatever you want to tell them." So he tried to explain that to him, but I guess he didn't get it when he went to me. Chip was a sharp dude, but he was just socially challenged on how he approached dealing with strong people in the locker room. He couldn't do it.
I'm gonna get a picture when we come out of the timeout here, man. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm gonna get a picture here, and I'm gonna post it on my and Xander, I want you to go get it too, man. It's gonna be over on my Twitter page. Something else the owner said at the NFL owner meetings, I want to hit on it, and you tell me if it lines up with Jalen Hurts. He's Barrett Brooks. I'm Dan Sileo.